Tonight on News 11, almost 1,000 jobs coming to Dunkirk as a global pharmaceutical company makes its way into the city.
And a verdict for longtime Trump ally Roger Stone, as well as the president's reaction.
And the coronavirus epidemic reaches Italy in huge numbers, but it doesn't stop the holiday traditions.
News 11 starts now. Good evening and welcome to News 11. I'm Patrick Ryan.
And I'm Jovanina Vancheri. Topping local news tonight, the producers of Small Business Revolution have officially chosen the 7 businesses that will appear on this season of the show. The chosen companies are Fresh and Fancy Flowers and Gifts, The Hair Bar, Lena's Pizza and Sub Shop, Literacy Volunteers of Chautauqua County, Nice and Clean Premium Detailing, Om Gluten-Free Bakery, and the Vineyards Golf Course. Each will receive funding for marketing and renovations. The projects are set to begin in March.
A pharmaceutical company will be opening its doors in Dunkirk soon. Athenex is a global pharmaceutical company whose headquarters are in Buffalo. The company announced the building of the 320,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, which will create 900 jobs for the area. The exterior of the building is complete, but it's expected to open next year. When it does open, the Dunkirk plant will be manufacturing the company's cancer therapy technology.
And Buffalo's film scene continues to grow. Oscar-winning Mexican director Guillermo del Toro started filming his next project yesterday in Niagara Square and City Hall. The Shape of Water director is filming an adaptation of the 1946 novel Nightmare Alley. Among the stars of the movie are Oscar nominees Toni Collette and Rooney Mara, as well as the Oscar-winning Cate Blanchett and Bradley Cooper, who was seen taking pictures with fans outside of the Buffalo Niagara Convention Center on Tuesday. Del Toro is impressed with the Queen City, saying, quote, "It's a jewel. It's truly a perfectly preserved, beautiful jewel." City Hall will stay open during filming, but there are several roads that will be closed around Niagara Square.
Anina, thank you. And the SUNY Fredonia Counseling Center is continuing work on their Let's Talk series. The series aims to engage students about mental illness. The current theme addresses experiences of LGBTQ+ students of color. According to the Counseling Center, the workshop is designed to, quote, engage students to start discussions, to explore their intersecting identities and receive emotional support, end quote. Following the following series will continue through April. Workshops are open to enrolled students, and for more information, you can visit fredonia.edu for a complete list of events.
And finally, in local news, the next show in the Walter Glore Main Stage series showcases the real-life achievements of women in the world of science. Silent Sky, directed by Daniel Lenzian, brings to life the story of Henrietta Leavitt, who worked at the Harvard College Observatory during the turn of the 20th century. Lenzian says the play is an accurate look into the lives of women whose scientific contributions and discoveries were often overlooked until men would later take credit. The Fredonia production brought in its own composer to write a brand new score for the show. The show is at the Bartlett Theater from Friday, February 28th to Saturday, March 7th. Tickets are $25. And ahead in national news, Roger Stone is sentenced. President Trump promises aid to farmers, and Burger King tries out a new advertisement. We'll be back.
But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back. Longtime political ally and friend of President Trump has been sentenced to more than 3 years in prison. Roger Stone was convicted of lying to Congress and threatening witnesses during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. The original recommendation from the court was 9 years for Roger Stone, but Attorney General William Barr says the sentence was, quote, harsh. President Trump has responded negatively to the news, saying Stone should be released from prison and was the victim of a bad jury.
U.S. farmers thought they were in the clear after China agreed to buy more agricultural products from the United States. But then came the coronavirus. China's economy is getting shaken up by the epidemic as factories and businesses continue to close and some purchases of U.S. goods are delayed. On Twitter, President Trump federal aid farmers, until they start feeling the effects of trade deals with China, Mexico, and Canada, President Trump will aid farmers. He said the aid will come from, quote, the massive tariff money coming into the USA. Several people were quick to point out that's not how tariffs work. They're paid out by U.S. citizens, not the other way around. The president also says there will soon be much higher demands for corn, soybeans, beef, and pork. According to the AP, farmers might be the deciding factor in states like Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Michigan during the upcoming election.
The fast food chain Burger King has released a new advertisement showing their signature Whopper burger riddled with mold. The ad has been met with mixed responses. The purpose of it is to show viewers that they will be taking preservatives out of their Whopper burgers and taking an all-natural approach. Burger King has already taken preservatives out of the Whopper in several European countries, as well as 400 restaurants in the United States. Although the moldy blue and green burger is off-putting to some, Burger King believes that this is a good method of advertising that will lead consumers to want to buy more products. And now Ryan Blatto joins us and is filling in for Haley this week. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi.
You're on last week, and now are you ready for your weather debut?
Yes, I'm actually ready to talk about some weather where we actually have something to look forward to.
We do.
Yes.
There's quite a storm brewing, I hear.
Yes, there is. It's raining now, but it won't be forever. Well, today we're able to hit the 40s with some spotty showers, but don't expect that for the rest of the week. as a blizzard warning goes into effect tonight at 10 and lasts until Saturday night. The spotty showers we're seeing are going to transition into snow overnight, with winds really starting to pick up. We could expect to see anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow overnight, with winds coming out of the northwest anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at what's coming tomorrow. We're going to have an 80% chance of snow tomorrow, and could see another 1 to 3 inches throughout the day. But this snow is going to transition back into snow showers as we move into the afternoon. A real issue tomorrow is going to be the winds. We're expecting to see 25 to 30 mile per hour winds tomorrow, but wind gusts could hit over 50 miles per hour at times. I'll talk more about this later on during my 5-day forecast, and I'll also show you the possibility of reaching 30 inches of snow over the weekend, so stay tuned.
All right, Ryan, thank you. I'll definitely have my boots on tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope the campus salted the sidewalks and walkways.
I hope that, and I hope they have the decency to cancel some classes.
We could only hope. I know it was raining pretty hard out there, so.
Yeah, and hopefully there's enough snow that sticks tomorrow that gives them a little something to
We'll make sure you have your puffy coat on, everyone.
Yeah.
And coming up after the break, Germany is reeling from a violent hate crime. The coronavirus reaches Italy in huge numbers, and a Vatican opens a door into the past. And we'll take a look at your Dow Jones Industrial Average and catch you on the other side.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Welcome. Thursday, February. 9 victims were shot and killed at a shisha bar in Florida. The 43-year-old suspected shooter was found dead in his home along with his mother. The shooting is being labeled a hate crime because 5 of the victims were Turkish citizens, and text and videos from the shooter have been found showing his racist and xenophobic views. This past Sunday, around 10,000 protesters marched through the streets of Hanau, Germany, to mourn the deaths of those that were lost. This is the 3rd deadly hate crime that has occurred in Germany within the past few months.
Anita, thank you. Italy has confirmed over 300 cases of the Wuhan coronavirus, making it the largest number of infections outside of Asia. But Ash Wednesday services in St. Peter's Square went on as planned. Crowds were smaller than usual, but hundreds still came to hear the Pope speak from the Vatican. During his speech, the Pope expressed his concern for people facing the illness and praised the medical personnel treating them.
March 2nd, Vatican archives of Pope Pius XII will be opened to over 150 historians and researchers. The archives have records on Pius during the Holocaust, and several people have mixed feelings toward his involvement. Many Jewish groups and historians believe that Pius didn't do enough to help the Jewish people during the Holocaust. His defenders say he encouraged religious institutes to hide Jews. It will take researchers a few years to look through the millions of pages of documents. The Vatican's chief librarian says, quote, "The Church has no reason to fear history." And now we're back here with Kevin Syracuse once again for our sports. Kevin, I understand there's some more Sabres news you'll be talking about.
Yes, the Sabres actually did something at the trade deadline, a couple deals that actually I like. I will be getting to that in a minute, but first, the Fredonia State men's hockey team season came to an end Saturday night in Oswego as they lost to the Lakers 4-1. Blue Devils defeated the Cortland Red Dragons Friday night in Cortland 3-2 thanks to Chandler Judd's go-ahead goal late in the second period, which proved to be the game-winning goal as well as his first career goal. The win gave Fredonia a win-and-in situation, but they were unable to take down the number 2 seeded team in the SUNYAC the following night. The Blue Devils finished with an overall record of 7-11-7 and a conference record of 4-9-3. 7 players will be graduating this spring. Captains Charlie Manley and Tommy Martin, Anton Rosen, Max Blitz, Tyler Ryder, Jacob Haynes, and Hugo Gamache. The men's and women's basketball seasons also came to an end on Saturday as they both fell to Buff State in another episode of the Battle by the Lake series. The women lost 96-56, while the men lost 92-87. Katie Pitcher led the women with 13 points, while Dada Bryan led the men with 29 points. Meanwhile, Liv LeBaron had 41 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals, while Jordan Christopher had 30 points and 10 rebounds for the Bengals. The women finished with a 9-16 overall record, a 5-13 conference record, and will be losing 2 players due to graduation, Anna Chacha and Trisha Lane. The men finished 8-17 overall, 4-13 in the SUNYAC, and will be graduating 4 seniors, Colden George, Daquan Smith, Tyler Roberts, and Musa Samasa. And finally, back to the Sabres now. They made 2 transactions on Monday before the 3 p.m. trade deadline. First, they sent a conditional 2021 fifth-round draft pick to New Jersey for Wayne Simmons. Simmons, a 31-year-old forward who is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, brings toughness, physicality, and leadership, all traits that the Sabres were lacking. He only has 8 goals and 16 assists this year, but he has scored 24 or more goals 6 times in his career. Minutes before the deadline, the Sabres then sent forwards Connor Sherry and Evan Rodriguez to Pittsburgh for forward Dominic Cahoon. Cahoon can play at either the wing or at center, but GM Jason Botterill says he sees him as more of a winger for now. Last season in Chicago, Cahoon put up 13 goals and 24 assists. In 50 games with the Penguins this season, he had 10 goals and 17 assists. The 24-year-old is a restricted free agent this summer.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin. Don't you just love sports?
Yes, and real quick about these deals, they're not the big blockbuster deals, but I think there are a couple solid moves for the Sabres because they're guys that can help win now and potentially in the future. Wayne Simmons, there's already a rumor that he's open to signing long-term in Buffalo. And as crazy as this sounds, the Sabres are only 8 points behind Toronto with 2 games in hand, and they are facing off in about a half hour in Colorado. So I've been talking the last few weeks how, the Sabres are at rock bottom, but they've won 5 out of the last 6, so it is possible.
Well, great. I can't wait to see what happens. Thank you again, Kevin. And after the break, Sandra the orangutan, brain surgery, and Hot Pockets. Another round of odd news stories, and Ryan Blotto has one last look at the weather. We'll be back.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Welcome back. First up in Odd News Stories tonight, News 11's favorite non-human, Sandra. Sandra, the first orangutan that's ever been granted non-human rights, celebrated a birthday this past Valentine's Day. Sandra has been living in an orangutan sanctuary in Wauchula, Florida. According to the Center for the Great Apes, a 31-year-old orangutan Jethro has gotten pretty buddy-buddy with Sandra at the sanctuary. The two were spotted together at her 34th birthday party. Patty Reagan, the sanctuary's founder and director, told Patch Media that, quote, Sandra appeared most interested in Jethro, and her caregivers felt he was a perfect choice because of his close age, calm demeanor, and gentle nature. Jethro must be feeling pretty lucky that he's the favorite out of 21 other orangutans at the sanctuary. That's pretty special.
That is special. Thank you for that, Patrick. And Hot Pockets were trending on Twitter yesterday because the heiress to the company throne is in a little Hot Pocket herself. Michelle Janavs will be spending 5 months in prison for paying $300,000 to get her 2 daughters into college. She also received a $250,000 fine, and the judge rejected her request for probation. Her family's company, again, Hot Pockets, was sold to Nestle for $2.6 billion in 2002.
And one British woman recently got to show off her professional violin skills during her own brain surgery. Doctors were removing a brain tumor and they were operating in a spot of the brain only a credit card's width away from the section that controls the movements of her left hand. Patients often do language tests during these surgeries to make sure the doctors don't damage something that they aren't supposed to. But these doctors say it's the first time they had a patient play an instrument.
And finally, one Ohio family received an unexpected blast from the past. In 1957, Patty Rumfola lost her red handbag behind a set of lockers. And it wasn't until last spring, 62 years later, that custodian Chaz Pyle found the bag. The heirloom found its way to Rumfola's 5 children who got a glimpse into their mother's high school life. Makeup, mint gum, old pennies, school photos, and notes from her friends were just some of the items in the bags. Patty Rumfola passed away in 2013. It's sad she didn't get to see it herself, but I'm glad her family got to see a little bit of it.
That's true. It's a great story. Jethro and Sandra are certainly living it up at the orangutan ape. Is she an ape?
Orangutan.
Orangutan at the orangutan sanctuary. I hope Jethro's planned her a nice birthday celebration on Valentine's Day.
I hope we get some Sandra offspring in the future. Maybe we could adopt it at the station.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how that would work with her human rights and Jethro just being the average orangutan.
Yeah, that seems unprecedented.
It certainly does. And not to mention Hot Pockets. How do you feel about Hot Pockets?
I mean,
I'm not a huge
I'm not
Hot
the
Pockets
biggest fan, and
like,
now I'm not.
okay.
Now I'm not even
Like,
more.
what's that about?
I know.
I don't know. Well, we love to see all of these stories, and we'll keep you updated on all of them. We're going to go ahead and take a look at your weather with Ryan Blotto, who's standing by over at the green screen. Hey, Ryan.
Hello. All right, so let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Today we saw some rain where we reached a high of 40, but don't forget a blizzard warning goes into effect tonight, which will last throughout Saturday. Tomorrow, we're going to see some snow showers throughout the day with a high of 27 and a low of 22 Friday. Friday, the snow continues with a high of 26 and a low of 21. Saturday, there's still a chance of some flurries, but for the most part, we're expecting the snow to stop on Saturday, leaving us with a partly cloudy day on Sunday. Now, let's take a look at how much snow we could see throughout the rest of the week. Tonight or tomorrow, we could expect to see 8 to 10 inches total by tomorrow evening. And then we're going to add on the lake effect snow coming Friday, where we could see anywhere from 10 to 14 inches total by Friday night. But the higher areas just to our south are where the snow is really going to pile on. The higher areas between Fredonia and Jamestown can expect to see a total of 18 to 30 inches by Friday night. But look on the bright side early. Next week, we're going to back up into the 40s and might even see some sun.
All right, Ryan, great job. We're all very proud of you, that's for sure. And we'll be back next week with, yes, so.
How was weather? How was the first time?
It was interesting. I probably should have held on to the script, but it's all good because, you got to get a feel of it. That's my first time.
Certainly. Kevin, and are you going to any games soon? You got anything planned in the pike?
Now that the Sabres are winning again, maybe I'll start hitting up some Sabres games.
Sabres games?
Going to Colorado tonight?
No, but I was going to say, I just found out during the break that my 8 a.m. got canceled tomorrow, which means my presentation got pushed back to Tuesday, so I can go watch the Sabres now.
I need my 9:30 to be canceled.
Nice.
That's true.
I have a 9:30 too, but that one's not canceled yet. So. And Wayne Simmons is playing, so the new acquisition is in the lineup tonight.
You got a test tomorrow, Kevin? Like you did last week?
You got a basketball game tomorrow?
Basketball game tomorrow. All right, well, that does it for News 11 tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. Next week, Hope and Ryan will be back with your latest news, and we will see you then. Have a great night.